this off. If anybody would like to add any testimonies, we've been gathering up testimonies, and it's been so gratifying to hear that people are using the WAVwatch and it's making changes in their lives, or, their pain, their brain, that kind of thing. So if you have any testimonies, we're going to have a few minutes to share a testimony if you'd like to do that. And if not, I'll, go on and give a presentation. But anybody want to give a testimony to start off with?
We do have two questions in the Q&A. Susan Callahan said, how often should you do the detox file daily? Was her question. And me personally, I think it depends on the detox, but Mom, you can probably answer more.
I like to go over the detox at least once a week. There's so many things that I am working with, and I don't want to skip it. You could do it twice a week, but it doesn't necessarily have to be done every day unless you know that you've really had a problem with something and you're trying to get it detoxed. And don't forget that you can also isolate any of those ideas and just play that idea, over for a couple of hours. There isn't a set time, a right or a wrong. We listen to acoustical frequencies all day long of all kinds. So these are just acoustical frequencies, and they'll move right on through your body if they're not interacting with any frequency within that's already in your body that it needs to, balance out.
Awesome. Thanks. And Jerry had questions on frequencies for throat congestion without a cough, and also about how to choose different frequencies on the playlist to continually play. Jerry, I can take the second one about the different frequencies to continually play. You could do a second playlist. So if there are a few frequencies that you just really want to focus on, you could actually do a second playlist and just have that playlist kind of repeat continuously. But um, as far as the throat congestion, do you know of any ideas, Linda?
Yes, in the book, I have added some new ideas for sore throat and strep. And so it's in self-care, labeled sore throat and strep. And I've added, adenoids, laryngitis, excuse me, all kinds of infections, tonsillitis, vocal cords, things for your throat. So those would be in that particular folder right there. And then you may want to play through the germ folder. It could be any combination of ideas. That could be germs that are causing your sore throat. It might be something else, but those are starting areas.
All right. I don't see any other here we got 7 more questions.
Well, we don't want to take too many questions. We might
Yeah. Yeah, we can start and I can answer some of these by text. So we can do that.
We'll check it that way. All right. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. And we're going to be talking about spine frequencies today. All right. So again, I've already announced that we're going to be sharing ideas about spine frequencies, and I think this is really important. I hadn't made a huge connection about sharing it with you before I added spine frequencies on the last 1000 frequency update for the WAVwatches. And so if you have an 870 watch, it is not on that particular watch. It is on the 1000 frequency watch, but you can order a card to update that. Remember, a TF card or an SD card, and all you do is just go to the website and pick out products, select the TF card, and you're updated to 1000 frequencies with a new card sent to you. Very easy to do. So we've covered this before. I don't know how many people are here that have seen these ideas. So sometimes I may be repetitive, but this is my favorite little chart to tell you that the WAVwatch has lots of ideas that I really think that I tried to work very hard to be able to share these with you and to design the product. So there's thousands of targeted frequencies. Don't forget that most of these frequencies sets, they're really a set, may have up to 30 frequencies when, within that name. So I don't know them exactly, but as far as I could tell, I've got about 24,000 frequencies on the WAVwatch. There are no cords or wires or patches. I hope you appreciate that. And sometimes we do have a little trouble with figuring out which watch or wristband is the best one to use, but I think everybody can make their own choice because people are different. There's no internet connectivity, huge for me. It's very cost effective. I keep hearing different ideas on different cost. And of course, everybody has a budget and we have different budgets, but I have tried to make this as cost effective as possible. And I do feel very comfortable when I see other tools that are $2,500 a month, and some of them are $300 that you pay every month just to keep up the service. So this is a one-time fee of under or around $600. And if you have a code, we give out codes all the time, it will be about around $497. It's easy to change as variants occur. Like we can change the website pretty easy, but most of all, we can update the frequencies as necessary if something different really changes. And then it's useful for all ages and even animals. So it can't get any better than this. How's this? It's great for all ages, kids, veterans, seniors, and even pets. So hopefully you appreciate that it can be used in different ways and for different purposes. This is what it looks like when you get it in the mail. So hopefully you've been able to see that there is a screen protector, and I've announced this several times, but you can see right here that there's a little tab that you pull off, and this is a screen protection when we ship it to you. And sometimes people are not realizing this and they think the screen is scratched, and it is not. So if I have any questions that I could, save you the trouble of calling and and thinking that your screen is scratched, just this is it. You have a little tab on it. So I think some of the newer watches, actually, we put a big sticker on top of the sticker so that you can see it. Isn't that fun to figure out all the little things that we need to do? But I'm glad to update that for you and let you know. We're trying to make it more obvious that there is a protection on the screen before you really put your real screen protector on. So basically, every frequency set that we have included on here, 1,000 of them, is like a different song. And if you really wanted to sit there and try to play them all and listen to them, you'd hear that there's a different sound to each one of them. And as you play these songs, your body will hum along. Now, if it doesn't need that song, if it's not interacting with anything else inside your body that has that frequency, it just, goes on through, it tunes it out, it lets it go. It doesn't upset your system. So frequencies go through your body very quickly. And again, I've talked many times about how they're faster than the speed of sound because our bodies are mostly water. So they're estimating that frequencies go through your body at 4.3 times the speed of sound, actually. So what I mostly wanted to point out today is that we are working with the skin and the bones when we put the WAVwatch on. We are kind of bypassing the ears unless you choose to turn it up so that you can hear it. Your frequencies are being absorbed. Those vibrations are being absorbed. So like even when we talk, our skull vibrates and sends sound waves through the spine into the rest of the body, mainly through the bones. So what we're talking about today is specific spinal frequencies that you have on the WAVwatch that can go right into the bones and directly to where they need to go. So I have shown these before, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on them. I'm hoping that we'll have some other testimonies as the program goes through. And feel free to let us know if you have a testimony about, spine or joints or pain or anything like that. We're open to share when we can. But if I have a huge conglomeration of testimonies, it really is for the joints and nerves. So more people have given me testimonies on these ideas. So, somebody said in 5 minutes, I could feel sinuses draining. Within 10 minutes, my knees were tingling and a cooling sensation like ice packs on my knees. Pain setting down, and pain getting up. After treatment, in 10 minutes, no pain to sit and stand. And somebody else says, I feel awesome. Neck and back feel 100% better. I've had neck pain for 36 years that is now gone. Hips are looser. I can't wait to see how long it lasts. Would like to come back for more. So lots of ideas, and just want you to know that the WAVwatch is really good, again, for all kinds of joints. So that's mostly what we're going to be talking about today. But I had to have fun with this because someone gave us testimonies with their animals that I just had to share. I don't know if anybody saw this on the internet or not on Facebook, but Teresa Ruth let us know that she said, I wanted to wait until I was sure, but wow, my horse's dental issues seem to be solved with the WAVwatch. She is 22 years old and having changes by x-ray of the roots of a tooth. She was spitting out unchewed hay because her mouth hurt. Per the vet, our future would be pulling the tooth, which misaligns her mouth and sets her up for an unpleasant future. I created a favorites list with tooth and jaw settings and attached it to her girth. So it was against her side. And she even provided a picture. Isn't that amazing? So she wore it for about 5 different sessions. It's now been at least 3 days since I've seen her unable to chew hay, and so now she can chew actually, and she eats steadily without pain. So happy. This is a very special horse. Picture shows how I attached it to her bareback pad. I stayed with her while she wore it and turned the volume up so I could hear it. So I just thought that was totally amazing, so the horse could hear it, both of them could hear it, and it was not evidently causing any problems with the horse, feeling strange or frightening the horse with the sound. And that's what we found over and over again, that animals really like the sound of the WAVwatch. They'll come right up to their owners and sit at their feet, or cats will hop on their laps or whatever it is. So somebody else chimed in, wonderful. I used it for ulcers and gut issues on my mini horse. But mostly I wanted to tie this in with dental because that's a bone. We're talking about bones today, and different ideas with the spine. So I just thought that kind of fit just a little bit to show you another horse video. And then I hope that you haven't forgotten this. Several people have shared these ideas with me, but cat purring has been shown to fall between 20 and 140 hertz. So they know that the purring of a cat actually is the frequency to heal bones. Is that not just unbelievable? So I hadn't really thought about or didn't. I don't know that I knew that cats are known for their ability to heal quickly from their own broken bones. And so I thought that was amazing. So here's Betsy, and she broke her ankle and had to have 17 pins put in it. But then she used the WAVwatch, and presto, both. And believe it or not, the WAVwatch will go through the animal touches a leg, and it will go to the person. Same way if you had a child sitting on your lap and you were wearing the WAVwatch, your child would be benefiting. Those frequencies are going to go through. So I just thought this was a great one. She really had fun with that. And she did recover. She's still having a little bit of trouble walking long distances, but cats can help. And then there's a new study with animals and bone density. And I just thought this was just really fun. They did research with vibrations checking on bone density. So one group of sheep stood on a vibrating platform for 20 minutes a day for 1 year. Now, I thought that was amazing. And they didn't say how many sheep, I don't think, that they were using in the group. But there was also a control group who had the same pasture but did not receive the vibration treatments. And after a year, their bone density was 34% higher. So now they're conducting trials to see if bone strength can be improved with frequencies and vibrations. That's all we're talking about. So anyway, I thought those were some fun things about animals to kind of share with you today, because we are all into taking care of our animals. That's one of the biggest businesses out there, I think. So you may have seen this list before in the booklet. You may have used it on the WAVwatch. I just wanted to put it up here and show you that the new 1,000 frequency WAVwatch, I added the 4 ideas that are in the darker print, the bold print. So if you do not have that updated WAVwatch, you would not see these. But we are going to talk now specifically about spine frequencies. So the very last one, spine frequencies, is kind of what we want to pay the most attention to. And it's kind of overwhelming how many frequencies and exactly what our spine does and how it takes care of us. So there are actually 2 groups of frequencies, and I use the 432 songs, the frequencies that are tuned to 432. So this research is from June Leslie Wider, if I'm saying her name correctly. And I think this is very important to let you know these are the frequencies. So I have 2 sons that are musicians. I don't know, would you want to comment on that, the difference between 432, which is what I named my business, 432 Energetics, and that's supposed to be the frequency of the world. And there are actually several places on the internet where you can just listen to songs for the spine, and it's actually just a 432 hertz frequency. So I don't know exactly where they're getting that, because all of these frequencies are a little bit different. But these are, again, the 432. Joseph or John, would you want to
Yeah,
comment?
sure. I mean, yeah, well, I remember talking with you about this and the inspiration for the business name. Excuse me. One of the things that I read said that the frequency of the sun on the earth is at 8 hertz. So it's an interesting connection there. And also, if my wife and I often tune our instruments to 432 because it's interesting within music, every frequency an octave down is half. So, and then there are different ranges, but if you play in 432, often your notes will be even frequencies, where if you're in the standard 440, they're kind of like at, decimal points. So it's an interesting thought about that. And yeah, a lot of people say the 432 range is a little more calming.
And that 440 hertz was started within this century, wasn't it? Wasn't it's changed, our tuning changed to 440? I was
Yeah,
thinking I heard
it
right.
looks like it changed in 1936.
I was going
That
to say
the
had to
A
do with.
above middle C, yeah, it's the A above middle C is tuned to 440, and it had been 432 before that. And ironically, I used to be a photographer for a long time, and it was the same organization that sets the ISO in film, the ASA. They used to call it ASA, ISO, and AS changeable in photography. It's the same organ. The American Standards Association made that recommendation to 440. So kind of interesting on the history of that.
Yes, because for thousands of years, basically all the toning and singing and things were done basically, and ancient instruments were tuned to 432, not the 440. So there is some questions. So that's why I use the 432 songs. So anyway, that's what we're dealing with. And you can see the numbers right there for each spinal frequency. Now, there are lots of charts out there, and it was hard to, kind of pick something to let you know where we're heading with this. But it's so important for us to realize how much our spine does, and that maybe we should be adding these spinal frequencies to some of our sets that we are creating, or our favorites list. So the spine transmits impulses from and to the brain for all of these functions. And there's just, a word here or there. You could just kind of see where every area in the spine is connected to a particular organ. And of course, this is what chiropractors work on, and they know all of this. But I would know if I touched the middle of my back, what area I was, that my spine was connected to what organ system. I wouldn't really know that. So I think it's really neat to kind of see the charts. And obviously, we do need to make sure that we are going to chiropractors or taking care of our spine in some way that you choose to do that. But now you have a new tool. You have the WAVwatch that can make some changes. So I actually, I guess I have one more slide, but then I actually broke it down for you so that we can see it a little bit better. So basically, the vibrations of a spine keep the body's entire nervous system in tune. So when our spine is vibrating correctly, our nervous system is also vibrating correctly. So that's a huge idea. And this was published back in 2006. This information has been available for a while and very important. So just to kind of, cover some more ideas, the spine's divided into 4 sections. So we don't necessarily have to know this. Like I said, we're not chiropractors, but it's a good thing for us to, kind of learn once in a while. I hope you're like me, that you're a lifelong learner. So we've got the cervical up at the neck, the thoracic is more the chest area, and the lumbar is the lower back, and sacral is the pelvis and tailbone. So that's what these abbreviations are for. And I took a chart because we couldn't see the chart. It was so small, and I wasn't even able to enlarge it. So last night I typed by hand all of these ideas for you. And this chart was designed by M. Allegretti, if I'm saying that right. So what I found out, that there are basically 12 different spine frequencies. So the cervical frequencies are the same as the top half of the thoracic, and the bottom half of the thoracic are the same as the lumbar. So I don't know if I can go back and kind of show you that just a little bit. You can kind of see these numbers repeat themselves. So if I go up here, C1 to C7, it ends at 242. And then if you go down to T7, it starts at 242, So there's repetition. And although we have more spine, more areas, there are only about 12 frequencies, again, for the whole spine. So this tells you a little bit more about them, because this is what I thought we ought to really connect in on. So again, I hand typed a chart. I kind of took it apart so we could see it bigger on the screen. But so cervix 1, this frequency is 128.43. And what it does is all of this about the blood supply to the head, the pituitary, bones of the face, brain, inner and middle ear, sympathetic nervous system. And then if that is out of whack, if there's a problem with it, it's going to cause all of these problems over here. So I'm hoping that if you see that you have some of these problems, you might key it in to say, oh my goodness, really what I have is a problem with my spine, and really work with those spinal frequencies. So if you're having trouble with your eyes, that's going to be C2. If you're having trouble with laryngitis and hoarseness, vocal cords, somebody actually had a question about that when we first started. So this would be 5, okay? Again, 2, 3. Yeah, so C5 would connect with the vocal cords, the neck glands, and the pharynx. So laryngitis, hoarseness, throat conditions could actually be something with spine frequencies. It's not going to hurt you to try it. And all of those will play at the same time for you. You don't have to pick through them and know all of this. I just like to share ideas with you and educate you. And in the meantime, I'm educating myself, So if you're having trouble with your thyroid, that would be C7. So the frequency for this that is included in that spinal frequencies category is 242.45. Now, did we learn anything? You don't need to know that. I'm just sharing with you because so many times people say, I need to know the frequencies that you're using. And several people have just been really particular about, I can't use this until I know the frequency. These are ones that I can share the frequency with you very easily, but I really don't have a list of the 24,000 frequencies that are on the WAVwatch. So that I can just share with you. Obviously I did when I put them together, but they're in a notebook about this thick. So anyway, it continues. We have T1. So we have all the thoracic ideas. And so if you're having asthma, cough, difficult breathing, shortness of breath, pain in the lower arms and hands, it could be your T1. So again, that could be a spinal frequency. When you see these conditions, problems here, you might start to think spinal frequencies that we hadn't thought about before, because I haven't really pressed that information or shared. I have singular ideas. I have knee pain. I have arthritis. I have, some things like that we have talked about before. But just to break down the spine frequencies, I was very glad to be able to share with you today. So if
Can I
you're,
jump in on
yep,
something here?
yeah.
One of the things I notice is that, people ask, well, I have this condition, should I just play this frequency over and over, And I think our bodies are so interconnected, just as this is showing, right? The spine is so integrated. So even if you don't think about it, but playing spinal frequencies for stomach issues or other areas, but also just do some research, look around. A lot of the conditions that we're all facing, um, whether that's thyroid or arthritis, a lot of conditions are autoimmune conditions are actually related to gut bacteria, related to diet, and the WaveWatch has frequencies for all of those. So if you're having, thyroid issues, don't just play thyroid, also play digestion, also play these spine frequencies, also play, emotional frequencies. So just a reminder that there's no one frequency that's perfect for whatever you're facing, just to do some research and find different ideas that could be related, because if you don't know exactly what it is, there are multiple things that could be connected. So I think this is just illustrating that very point, right? The spine is so related to different things. Um, and also, just a little side, there's a black box on the bottom right of your screen that's kind of covering a few of these. If there's a way to the one on the right is worse. Well, it's kind of covering where the stomach is. See where it says nervous stomach at the bottom right?
Ah,
That
okay.
that little black box. I think it might be your video panel. But and we've got several people on our chat. Oh, now it's bigger, so close that. Oh yeah, Martha L said dental issues can cause many problems. Yes, you're right. I forgot to mention dental. That's
Mm,
absolutely very related.
I don't know how to get this off.
Uh,
Sorry.
well, that one's fine. It's the bottom
Okay.
right one is a little block, but it's okay.
I
It's
don't
not,
have one on the bottom right, I guess, on mine. Sorry, I can't
yeah,
even see it.
that's
Hmm.
okay.
Okay.
All right,
Sorry.
you're good. Go on.
Sorry about that. So basically, I think that kind of covered it in a nutshell. That's why so many people are pleased with the WaveWatch, because they are seeing that they can cover many different areas without having to run to four different, corner um, Walgreens or whatever for XYZ over the counter medication for an idea. They can just sit there and play different ideas on their WaveWatch. So it does save you a lot of time. Sometimes we have asthma and coughing in the middle of the night. You can just start playing that on your WaveWatch then. And so that's the whole idea of it, is to make our self-care much, much easier. Although we may be on the spot to learn a little bit more about our self-care. And that is what we really need to do. We need to put our self-care back into our hands. And then obviously when we're paying more attention to our body, if something is really wrong, you will know when it's time to go to the doctor. I'm not saying don't go to the doctor. I'm just saying you have something that can be helpful for a variety of smaller problems. So these are the frequencies again for the T1 through T7. And then they start all over again. So we have the spleen. This is the bottom half of the thoracic. So that's kind of below your chest. And they are the same as, see what I'm saying up here? The C1 through C7. So very, very interesting how some of these are similar. So again, just about 12 different frequencies. So when you play them, you're getting your whole spine up and down. So you'll see that like T10, again, has a lot to do with skin conditions, acne, pimples, eczema, and boils. And I don't think I even knew that, T10, because it's connected with the kidneys and uterus. But that's what the conditions would be. That's what the symptoms would show up as. So if you're having small intestine problems and a problem with T11, you're going to have some gas pains and rheumatism. I just think it's kind of interesting that we haven't really been taught enough unless we're a chiropractor. We need some basic information about how important the spinal frequencies are to our whole body and our whole nervous system. So then we go on down. Here's a few more that are duplicated. Again, they're the same frequencies as what we've had for other spine frequencies. So if we go to the lower lumbar, L1, were our large intestine problems, and there might be some problems with constipation, colitis, dysentery, diarrhea, and some hernia ruptures. So isn't that kind of interesting? If you have trouble with L2, cramps, a lot of cramps, difficult breathing, and varicose vein problems. But I just think there's so much here that we're missing. So L3 is sex organs, uterus, bladder, and knees, very specific to knees. So painful menstrual cycle, miscarriages, bedwetting, change of life symptoms, and knee pains. So very, very interesting. And again, L4 is sciatica. I think I spelled that wrong. Sorry, when I was typing that in my hand. So we see that very important information. And L5, you're going to have lots of problems with circulation in your leg, swollen ankles, weak ankles, arches, cold feet, weakness in legs, and legs cramps. And I think that's a big one because sometimes we think we have, edema, and we probably do, but maybe we should be playing the spinal frequencies to get rid of some swollen ankles also, not just the frequencies that are plainly labeled, edema and things like that. So very important to know and to move through your WAVwatch. So don't forget these are in pain, and then they're in joints, and then it would be the last one in joints. And I'm sorry that you have to open several folders, but I'm proud that we have 1,000 ideas that you can work with rather than just having 30 or 40. I saw a tool the other day and they were so, pleased. They were really advertising that they had 50 frequencies on it. And I'm going, oh, we have 1,000. So I was very pleased that we have that many, even though you do have to open different folders. Okay, so these are two other folders that you want to look at, and that would be bones or dental. We're talking about, spine and bones and joints and things like that. And just a matter of course, like my son Joseph was talking about, think about playing different ideas. If one idea doesn't seem to get rid of something, keep working on it. So I was playing bone diseases last night. For some reason, I felt a little soreness in one of my bones, on my leg, and I just opened the bone folder and played through all of those, and I didn't feel it this morning. Also dental, huge, huge, huge. And don't forget, everything will go through your whole body, even though you're wearing it on your wrist. So it doesn't matter where it's at. The frequencies will go through your body completely. I think I can get this to play.
I've had knee pain for about a year, limping when I walk some days. It feels real loose in there and popping and cracking. Dr. Bamber put a frequency on it, and I'm not limping and I'm not feeling that looseness in there. I'm not feeling the pain. It was only on for 25 minutes, and I can't wait for it to come out on the wristband so I can use it more easily.
I'm not sure you could hear that. Was that something everybody could hear?
Yeah, it was a little faint, but we could hear it.
Okay, all right. So you can keep digging. That is one of the things that I think the internet is so amazing for. And I see I have another, isn't it fun when you do your own work here? And I guess I did pull this out so that suggestions, that reads a little crazy. But anyway, there are so many suggestions on the internet. It is a great way to learn more ideas. But I thought this was a pretty good little chart, just, make you think, lift things correctly, have a good posture, strengthen your spine with some exercises, and eat correctly or eat, calcium rich foods. So lots of different ways that we can be protecting our spine. But now with the WAVwatch, you have another way, obviously, to be working on spine problems. So don't forget that we do save and record each one of these ideas, presentations, and we have about 70, maybe 75 targeted ideas. So you can just type in a topic and find that particular one. And Joseph and John, you might be able to share a little bit better how to find a specific program on WaveWatch Frequency Fanatics. Can you explain that a little bit better than me?
Yeah, sure. So if you are looking for, oh, sorry, John, didn't mean to cut you off. Um, I have dropped in the chat and as well a list to all of our Facebook groups, YouTube videos, Rumble, and pretty much you could just go to YouTube on our WaveWatch and you can search for an idea, or if you're in Facebook in the Frequency Fanatics group, type in there if you're looking for help with headaches or bone pain or anything that you want to look for. Look in there, and if you don't see it, just send us a message. We'll be happy to help. You can email info@wavwatch.com is probably the best resource to speak with our customer service.
And I've just been kicking it more old school, just going through the manual, and that's I know that's that's more old school, but there's lots of different ways to accomplish that. So.
Right. And I think people are looking for, they may be overwhelmed because we have over 70, just targeted programs with a specific subject, and they may not be able to search that as much as we want. So hopefully, those ideas will get passed around. And we have, most of these have been transferred over to Rumble, and then we have different ideas on YouTube also. So don't forget, you can always email info@wavwatch.com for help. So I think we are actually open now to any questions or any testimonies anybody would like to share with us.
All right, looks like we have Maggie and Toddy raising their hands, so I'll take you guys one at a time. Maggie, I'm gonna promote you to a panelist, and I think you should be able to talk and ask a question now. You just need to unmute there, and you can turn on your video if you want. All right, Maggie, you ready? All right. Looks like we lost Maggie, but maybe she'll try again. Toddy Fisher, you had your hand raised, did you not? Okay. Well, I don't see any hands raised. Let's check the Q&A. Um,
I do have an answer. We have a, question in the question and answers. How long should you wear the watch until you know whether it's or not it's working? That is a big question. What is the maximum time it takes to see and feel results? So there isn't a right or wrong. There isn't a specific time for any problem. If you see that a frequency is 8 minutes long, that's just the frequency by itself as it is labeled. And that's the minimum time that was suggested by many frequency experts to run a frequency. So that's what you have built into your WAVwatch. So you don't have to worry about that. But if there is a frequency set that's labeled combo, then it might be an hour and 5 minutes. That's actually making a loop through several different ideas for you so that you don't have to worry about that. But you could loop that one. I think I'm thinking virus combo might be an hour and 5 minutes long. And it's going through a lot of different ideas, and you can loop it over and over again. That's what I did just recently. I was on a plane coming back from Las Vegas, and I had that virus one playing, it's just set the whole time while I was going through the airport that whole day long. So I didn't worry about it. It just repeated, and I thought it gave me some protection. So another question, is there a frequency to dissolve internal scar tissue? I don't think there's anything labeled, dissolving scar tissue, but I would go to wounds and healing, and that is in the self-care folder.
so I think Maggie is maybe back. Maggie, do you want to try to ask your question now?
Sure. Can you hear me?
We can hear you,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, great. Okay. Hi. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
I wanted to ask about the spine frequency at the bottom of the list under joints, areas having inflammation, pain, and trauma included in each set, which is great. Should everything that you were well, can't say that. Should we be, if you run the spine frequency, is it covering a whole bunch of that stuff? Or I know running
Yes, it's
the
covering
entire
all
list.
It's covering all of those that I just gave you in one set. Basically, I put them all together so that you don't have to worry about it, because I knew it would drive people crazy if they had to figure out which frequency they needed and which spine was out, that kind of thing. So what area? So it plays, and there's only 12. So all 12 of those are
Okay.
included in there.
Okay, that's great. I'm just wondering if there's other things I shouldn't run for myself. My spine is going a little crooked, and I was not born that way. I am seeing someone that's pushing my bones around to try and fix that. But should I be concentrating a little bit more on that entire list because of that?
Yes, I would think so. It's not going to hurt you. I would play the spinal frequencies the most if your spine seems to be switching. And
Yeah.
then I would play bones also. There's bone regeneration, bone, some ideas in that folder also.
Yeah,
And
my
then-
thoughts on that too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
look on the internet, there's really specific exercises to do. I saw one that showed, an exercise to do if your spine was starting to get a little bit of a curve in it. So more than one thing, more ideas is better than just one,
Yeah,
but it's
something that
easy to
helps.
yeah, it's easy to concentrate on, the WAVwatch and an exercise. You can do two things at once, but and your food, so we are doing all of that. We do need to do more than one idea.
Great, thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Thanks, Maggie. Great to hear from you again. And Martha has raised her hand, so we'll bring you in to ask your question here, Martha. All right. Are you able to unmute now, Martha? Oh, I think we lost her. It looks like Addie is. Oh,
There's Martha.
there's
Just
Martha.
unmute. Yep.
Okay, thank you very much. Two questions. When I save the chat, where does it go in my computer to review? Is it in downloads? Because I looked for it before there and I couldn't find it.
Yeah, that's a great question. You're wanting to save the chat from these calls?
Yes, and
Um,
I couldn't find where
mm,
it went.
yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know. Normally because I'm a host, I get the recordings and the chat, but I don't know as an attendee how that works for you. But you can always watch the replays live if you're interested. But yeah, sorry. I'll check on that and get back to you, Martha.
Okay, thank you. And I have to clear my throat often. I don't feel like I have a sore throat, and I didn't readily see, clearing your throat. I saw a sore throat. What would be the idea to key in on?
There was
Clearing your
one
throat?
for laryngitis, hoarseness, throat conditions such as sore throat and things like that. And that was the spinal frequency of C5, cervical 5. But again, if you're just plain spine frequencies, you got it all covered,
Okay, and then the last one is I'm going to be doing some intermittent fasting, and especially next week I'll be doing a 3-day water fast. Any recommendations for zeroing in on ideas?
Wow, I don't. I don't know if you wanted to play the weight. I'm not sure if you're trying to lose weight. But that would be one that would kind of go with it, with intermittent fasting. And there's
Fat
a lot
burning.
of ideas there because it, strengthens the pancreas and strengthens the organ systems. And it's not just quote unquote losing weight, it's strengthening all those organs that have to do with our ability to digest food and eat and that kind of thing.
So
Okay.
you're talking about the weight option?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
There's
what about the detox? Would that be a safe thing to combine?
that's a good one too. I mean, you already thought of it. So that's a great one. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Also,
Thank-
Martha, I was able to figure out where the chat went. On my Mac, I hit save chat and it saved it as a TXT file, and it saved it within documents, and then there's one called Zoom. But I think the easiest way for you to, if you hit save chat, then there was right after you hit save chat, above that there's a little box that shows up and it says show in Finder, or maybe on another computer it would just say show location. So when you're looking at Zoom and you click on save chat, there's a little box right at the bottom there, and then it will maybe direct you to where it has saved it.
And it's called Finder. What'd you say after save chat?
Are you on a Macintosh or a PC?
PC.
Okay. I don't know where it's going to say, but if you'll, there's a little 3 dots within Zoom, and then if you click Save Chat, then right near where your cursor is, there's going to be a little something that pops up inside of Zoom that will direct you to where it put it on your computer.
Go back into Zoom. My Zoom app. I mean, log into Zoom.
Yeah, don't leave the Zoom app. You're going to click Save, and then watch right where you clicked, and there should be something there that shows where it put it on your computer.
Very much.
Yeah, and
Yeah, you're very welcome.
two related helpful comments for you, Martha. One is Julie said you might go to Recents and get where it is if you downloaded that file if you're on Windows. And also somebody else
What
mentioned
is that? A recents? What is a recents?
maybe it's recent files on your computer. And somebody else also mentioned if you're doing intermittent fasting to play some detox folders while you're fasting. It's a great idea to combo that.
Yeah.
And we do have a related question asking how the detox and fat burn ideas work and what happens to the body. If you wanted to answer that, Linda.
So when you are absorbing frequencies, they are interacting with something in your body that has the same frequency. So if you are trying to lose weight, your thyroid could be out of balance. So there are thyroid frequencies, and your thyroid is vibrating like this. But we've measured the frequencies for thyroid, or a frequency for thyroid. They know what every organ frequency is. So when we send that frequency in, if yours is vibrating incorrectly, it's kind of hard to show, those two vibrations are going to meet and balance together and start working better. Balance out is a good one. Now, sometimes when those frequencies meet, like if it's for a virus, they actually start self-amplifying and destroy each other or break down or change. So frequencies can rebalance, they can break down, they can, make something vibrate at a better speed like it's supposed to, get it back into balance. So many different ways to say that because there are so many different frequencies. So on the weight loss, I've had somebody give me a testimony that they lost 50 pounds on the weight loss. Other people have said 8 pounds. I'm saying, maybe a pound. I didn't lose anything. So there's quite a variation. You do not know exactly how that person used it, or maybe, again, to use the thyroid as an example, maybe it balanced their thyroid out and that's what they needed for the weight loss. Maybe it helped their pancreas. And so that's why there's so many things in the weight loss folder for your body to work with and start balancing itself better.
Great. It looks like Maggie might have another question, and I don't see any other questions other than that. Maggie will bring you back in here.
And any testimonies?
Yeah.
I actually don't have a question. I have something Martha was talking about with her throat. I've had the same problem, and I run GERD. I've actually got it in my favorites. I don't know where it is in the book because if I need it, I just go into my favorites and search in there for it. But I literally have come off medication because of that. And apparently it wasn't medication for my throat, it was for my stomach. And so the pharmacy tells me, and it clears that up every time. GERD. I don't know where it is in the book.
Oh, thank you for sharing that, Maggie. That's
You're
yeah,
welcome.
I just found it. It's under organs and digestive.
Mm.
So I'll type that in the chat for everyone. So GERD is under organs, digestive. But again, just a great example that you're thinking, oh, I have this feeling like I need to cough. Is it sinus, allergy? Well, it could be GERD, right? Because acid reflux can affect your throat and that feeling that you need to cough. So great example there as well. Thank you so much for sharing, Maggie. Great to see you again.
You're welcome.
And see, if we put our heads together, we can do so much more. So somebody, S. Cooper is saying, I heard it's good to detox heavy metals to help with thyroid health. Yes. So wouldn't that make sense? That's a great idea to remind us about. So that's why we need to be doing that detox a lot more. And somebody said, well, how long do I run the detox? You can run it all night long and put it on a loop and make it keep, detoxing something different every 8 minutes. Or you could just single out one. If you know you have some heavy metal concerns, just pick one of the heavy metal ones and play that one for a longer period of time. So great ideas from people. I really appreciate that.
And related to GERD, Kim asks, is that GERD similar to acid reflux or different? Are there other ideas for acid reflux?
I think that's the main one. Yes.
Could be even just that whole digestive folder,
Mhm.
Kim. And also some of the research I've been reading and my wife has been studying is that a lot of these I don't know what you call them, the medicines that you take for acid reflux, those of you who are taking OTC or prescription medicines for acid reflux are actually pretty bad for your body, can cause spinal bone weakening. And a lot of the acid reflux is not from your acid being too strong. It's actually too weak because of different issues that we have in our body and what we're eating. So uh, so there are definitely things that you can look at holistically with acid reflux. Oh yeah, Julie said protein pump inhibitors. Yeah, those protein pump inhibitors are related to several negative and so you guys on the chat know what I'm talking about. So, well, we're almost at the end here. It looks like, I don't know if we have, Jerry has raised his hand. We've got time for maybe one more question. Um, Jerry, I will bring you in here. Do you want to go ahead and unmute Jerry? Oh, we lost you.
No, he's connecting to audio.
Oh, there. Good.
Oh, One more attempt.
All right.
You hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, Joseph, getting back to my original question of like on the playlist I have different favorites. Can you just pick one and skip another one and pick different ones out of there without making a new playlist and run them continuously?
Yes,
Hope I'm
you
being
can.
clear.
If you just want one, it's in your playlist and you open the one where it's making the music, the sound.
Uh-huh.
Then on the lower left-hand corner, you can click the icon, which would just make that one loop for a long period of time. So you can isolate that one without playing anything else. And so that would be the one with a kind of a square and two arrows looping around it. That's
Right.
the one that.
I understand that, but can you do another? Can you pick another one to play right after that? That's not in the same order.
No. Mm.
Oh, okay. That's what I didn't think you could, but I was just hoping
Yeah.
that so you don't have to keep switching all the time. And the other thing is, when it is doing that loop with the one, sometimes I'll go to see how much time is left on that playing that one, but then it shuts off. It doesn't goes back to where I have to go back to favorites again. You know, I'm not touching anything else.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I've had that happen too, and I think I bumped it. I do not know.
Okay. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's still workable, but okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, I love your dog in the background. It's healing for me to
Yeah.
watch that lovely energy.
Yeah. Thanks, Julie. Yeah, I have had to get up and let her out a few times. She's got a lot of energy today.
And Martha, I love your comment. Not drinking while eating a meal provides efficient digestion. We have forgotten that. They have taught us over and over again to drink those icy drinks down. You're exactly right on that. And I know I don't drink any water during a meal, hardly at all. And other people that I'm around look at me and going, "You're not drinking anything." And it's like, well, I don't want to. It helps my digestion better. Great comment to remind people that we shouldn't be gulping down all kinds of icy drinks while we're eating. Our digestion will suffer.
And especially acidic sodas. Yeah,
Mhm.
those are related. And Toddy said apples, honey, and apple cider vinegar is great for acid reflux and heartburn. Yes. Thank you for sharing. One other question we do have, Cindy said a blocked sternum. Have you heard of that before?
I've heard of it. I don't have any frequencies that I think would, do anything with that unless it does happen to be, related a little bit somehow to some of the spine or the joints. There are people who specialize in putting ribs and things back in place that might have some ideas on that more, not within my scope.
All right. Well, I think we're good here. Oh, Maggie, I see you got your hand up. You got one more thing you want to share?
Yeah, sorry to be so chatty today. I typed it, but I can't get that up on my screen. So I just keep putting my hand up. I wanted to know, I have a problem with my electrical system. Do you have any idea what I should run for that?
Well,
Can you be a little more specific?
Well, I have a pacemaker. I was told the reason I needed a pacemaker is because my electrical system wasn't working. I personally didn't even know I had an electrical system. So I just maybe I should Google it. I think I have it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure that we do anything like that. I mean, you already have the pacemaker, and the WAVwatch, of course, is not going to affect that because it's a sound. It's an acoustical sound,
Right?
and you can
Yeah.
listen to music and things all day long, so it's not going to
I'm
bother it.
quite comfortable using the WAVwatch with my pacemaker. In fact, it helps because when I
Oh.
get heart palpitations, I can use my WAVwatch and it stops them.
So, you know,
Okay.
the vagus nerve one might be a great one. The nervous system, Lynn just added to that. I think she's answering your question a little bit more. And actually, the
Okay.
spine, we just learned how the spine controls all of the nervous system, but I'm not quite for sure when you say electrical, you know, I do
Yeah,
not know
either
if
one.
Mhm.
That's what they've told me. What did Lynn say to run? What was she suggesting?
The nervous system,
Nervous system.
the nerves
Okay.
conduct.
I'll
She's saying
try
the
that.
nerves
What would
conduct
be
electricity.
interesting if I tried a few things, because every 6 months I have to go to the hospital and they put a little computer where my pacemaker is and they can read what's been going on, but they also lower it. So it'd be interesting to see what the reading is if I could actually fix my electrical system a bit.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. That's good.
And
Thank
then Lisa is saying, any idea why the detox seems to help my knees almost as much as the joint folder? Wow. Isn't that interesting? That tells you that somewhere you are getting some toxins of some kind that are not getting completely out of your system. And they seem to be, you know, uh, ending up in the knees for some reason, whatever reason. I do not know why, but you might see if you could look at some of the ideas or feel when you're playing the detox system. Is there anything that stands out in your mind that, oh, you feel a jerk or a thump or, you know, an electrical short or something, anything like that? Any changes when you are playing through the detox folder? And then if you can actually touch your watch and on the side and, you know, wake it up, I guess is the way I say it, you can see on the screen what you're playing, and that might give you an idea of what you are detoxing that's helping the most. So, you know, like if you feel something and it's playing mercury detox, that might let you know, oh, I may have some mercury, you know, I wonder where I'm getting that kind of thing.
Yeah, and we've got some interesting comments in the Q&A about minerals for your electrical system. So, you
Oh,
know, as it relates to your nerves, your I know is it phosphate? Sorry, what's in bananas? The main
oh, potassium.
Yeah.
potassium. Yeah, I know potassium is important for firing your nervous system. Do you have any other suggested minerals,
Bananas
Linda?
don't like me though.
Ah, any other minerals that you can recommend, Linda?
I'm actually doing something where I'm getting a lot more minerals in my system right now, so that may help. I'll keep that up.
Yep,
Celtic salt. I'm doing Celtic
Yeah.
salt and a half a
yep,
glass of water with it.
yep.
Yes. All the minerals are really good. And then the latest, although it is a theory that's about 10 years old, which I have mentioned before, is that they're now starting to doubt that our nerves are actually electrical. Yeah, I'm not, you know, I'm just kind of throwing this out. So this comes from the School of Physics in Denmark. And they are saying that our nerves and our nervous system is more sound pulses. Isn't
Mhm.
that interesting?
Yeah. Yep. And several people answering the mineral question. Magnesium is the other important mineral for heart
Mm.
rhythm. So, yeah. All right. Well, I think we're a little bit over time, so we're gonna probably wrap up here, and that's okay with you all. And
And I
thank
like the
you.
chemtrails in the sky. I don't like them, but I like that comment. That could be causing problems for all of us. So that's a
Definitely.
reason that we need to detox all the time.
Yeah. Definitely play the detox folders. All
Well,
right.
thank you everybody for coming
Great to see
on.
everybody. Happy New Year. Thank you all for jumping in the last few weeks on our Christmas specials and everybody, and we really appreciate you.
And you did publish a list of the winners, JR,
Yep.
Joseph.
Yeah. Yep. I published a list of the winners. That's on the website, and that was sent out by email. And actually, Maggie, who was on here, I think Maggie won for sharing her testimonial. And
Oh, I didn't know that.
wait, did I misspeak? Maybe it
I
Is it
didn't
a
wasn't.
know I
different
won.
Maggie?
Maybe it was
Is it,
not you, Maggie. Sorry.
I don't
We
think it was. I saw the list, my name wasn't on it. I was hoping
okay.
for it, but it didn't appear.
So sorry. I misread, but you gave a great testimony and you are on the website, so you're famous now. So
Yes, I saw
thank
that. Thank you.
yeah, thank you everybody who shared and have a happy new year.
all right. Bye,
Same to
everybody.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.